up, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. And who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Jermell Charlo, the Iron Man. This brother just cannot catch a break. Really quick, if you like the videos, please take the time, subscribe to the channel. Also hit the thumbs up button because it really does help. Support the videos on this channel. And let's talk about this. So the IBF just ordered Bakhram versus Charlo. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, but you know who I'm talking about. He's an Eastern European with heavy hands and really solid boxing skills all the way around. Can Charlo catch a break? All right. So, in my personal opinion, when I look at guys in their path to the belts and titles, Jermell Charlo's had like the hardest road, hands down. He fought Harrison twice, Castano twice. Then he loses to Canelo. Now he's fighting Bakhram, which is no walk in the park. And when I say no walk in the park, dude's no walk in the park. Don't forget, there's also Tszyu lurking in the shadows. He's there. He's there, and he's waiting. He's been waiting for a long time. So when that comes, that's going to be a storm within itself because Tim had to wait. And so now he had to wait for Canelo. Now, first he had to wait for Jermell's hand. Then he had to wait for Canelo. Now he's going to have to wait for Bakhram. So he's really going to be steamed and poised and ready to go when he finally gets his hands on Jermell Charlo. Not to mention, there was a potential mega fight with Jermell Charlo and Terrence Bud Crawford. However, because Terrence Bud Crawford was disgusted with how Jermell Charlo fought against Canelo Alvarez, that fight is in jeopardy. He wasn't impressed with his performance. He wasn't impressed with his mentality. And it wasn't the fact that he didn't win. It was the fact that he didn't perform. It was the fact that he didn't show up. It was the fact that he said a lot of things and he didn't back anything up. It's the fact that he's a unified champion. In my eyes, he's still an undisputed champion. But a unified champion and didn't act as so. So Terrence Crawford said he didn't even want that fight after his fight, Jermell Charlo's fight with Canelo Alvarez. So now that's in the toilet, or just very sensitive right now, depending on how you finagle it. If you're on Jermell Charlo's side or into things. Jammel's journey to the belts have not been easy. They just haven't been easy. And here we go again. Here we go again. People can say whatever they want about Jermell Charlo, but his road to the belts and the titles is so credible. Because he's not fighting slouches. It's not like he fights a really respectable guy, then he fights a bum. He fights a really respectable guy, then he fights two cab drivers. Then he fights another respectable guy. It's hard fight after hard fight after hard fight after tough guy after tough guy after tough guy. And Bakhram is no different. He's no different. Bakhram is serious. He's a very serious opponent. He has long arms, heavy hands, loose jab. And when I mean loose jab, he can pop that thing. Like I said, those long arms, he's heavy-handed, and that jab is always out there. He's one of those guys who uses his jab. If you notice anything about Eastern European guys, their fundamentals are so solid. They're so solid. The jab means so much. And I wish, more fighters. I think a lot of guys today are so on the finesse game that they don't really care that much about anything else. But no, you got to have a solid foundation. You look at these Eastern European guys, they all have solid foundations. So Bakhram has a great foundation. Not to mention, he's a counterpuncher. He can lead the dance, but he can allow you to lead and still pop you with some shots. He's dangerous all the way around. However, Jermell Charlo here's the thing, he does well in comebacks. Like I said, he fought Harrison twice. He lost the first one. In my personal opinion, he won, but he lost the first one. But he lost the first one, came back, finished Tony Harrison. Judges were not needed. There was a draw with Castano in the first fight. Comes back, he finishes him in the second fight. Judges are not needed. So he does well in comeback fights. He does well when his back is against the wall. He does well when people count him out. And, let's be honest. I personally believe he's at his best when people count him out. And I know this might be a little thing or possibly looked upon as a silly little thing, but I don't think so. Typically, he's angry at his opponents and, he wants to really hurt them and he takes everything personal. But with the Canelo fight, there was none of that. There was no like animosity. There was, I don't want to say it's like, I'm just happy to be here, but there was a sense of I'm just happy to be here. And even Canelo mentioned it. He was like, everybody's kind of used to this guy being really rowdy, but he understands what he's facing, so he doesn't need to be rowdy. He needs to save all that energy for the night of the fight, because I'm bringing all that energy. Now, that could be it, but I personally think when Jermell Charlo is riled up, when Jermell Charlo is heated, when Jermell Charlo is doubted and counted out, I think that's when he performs his best. And I'm not saying the outcome of the fight would have been any different, but maybe he would have came out with a bruise or a black eye. Maybe Canelo would have had a bruise or a black eye after the fight. But I do think that one particular thing was lacking. Now that he's going to be fighting Bakhram, I think he's going to have all that. Why? Because he didn't have the best showing with Canelo Alvarez. You and myself, I certainly was expecting a lot more out of Jermell Charlo than what he showed. Just simply because he's a champ. That's why. If for nothing else, you're not a regular challenger. You are a unified champ. You clawed your way to the top. So I'm expecting you to dig deep in that heavy storm that was Canelo Alvarez, and he didn't do that. Let's see. Mostly, you got the heart of a champion, right? However, if you thought they were coming for Charlo before, because let's face it, everybody was coming for him before. Now they're really going to be coming for him. You're going to have a lot of guys saying, I can knock that guy out. I can beat that guy. Look at what happened with Canelo Alvarez, and Bakhram's going to be no different. He saw the fight. We all saw the fight. And you're going to be saying, well, all I got to do is back him up. All I got to do is back him up, put him on the ropes. He'll be a stagnant, stationary target. That's all I got to do. And Bakhram's the type of guy who could do that. He's got the type of power, and he has the type of skill. If you know anything about me, I'm never one just to scream power, power, power. Power without skill means jack, in my personal opinion. But when you can match those two together, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a big problem on your hands. And it just so happens with that power, he has skill. Jermell Charlo needs to make a statement with this fight. Okay, I kind of am happy that it's going to be Bakhram instead of Tszyu. He needs to make a statement. He needs to make a big statement with this fight. And just saying, listen, I'm still the Iron Man. I'm still the king at 154 pounds, whether you like it or not. I'm the king. This is still my throne, and I'm coming down to kick butt, take names. Simple as that. Now, I understand that he wants the Terrence Bud Crawford fight because that's a potential mega fight, and it's going to draw a lot of eyes, but more importantly, a lot of moolah. However, I think it's more importantly for him to just establish himself as the king again. And how do you do that? Well, one, you fight somebody your size, Bakhram. Two, you fight somebody who's dangerous in your size, Bakhram. Three, you put on a masterclass, a showing, and go back to being the Iron Man and knocking people out. You knock out Bakhram, oh yeah, you're back on top. You are the man all over again, in my personal opinion. And then, instead of worrying about Terrence Bud Crawford, because he's still a small guy, I think you need to handle your business at 154 pounds and call out Tszyu. That's what I think. And I think it's the right thing to do. I think it's a chess move because at this point, if you don't say his name, because you have not said his name, if you do not say his name, it looks cowardly. It looks weak. He's challenging your throne. He's challenging your kingdom. You have to address that. You have to address it. And that's basically it. That's my thoughts. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you believe that Charlo's throne is in jeopardy. Tell me if you think Bakhram is a type of guy that can, and I do hope I am saying his name right, but Bakhram can pose a legitimate threat to that throne. And, what's going to happen afterwards? My main thing is there needs to be a statement made. I think there needs to be a knockout made. Jermell Charlo really needs to resubmit himself. It's not as if he went away, but because of the showing that he had with Canelo Alvarez, it looks like he went away. So he needs to come back and make the proper showing to resubmit himself, get his respect back, and reclaim the throne. Even though he has all the belts, you still have to reclaim that throne because there's something that was taken from him by the way he lost to Canelo Alvarez. Drop your thoughts down below. As always, please like, please share, please subscribe to this channel.